I was really, really proud of myself the way I wrestled and got third. And I'm really proud of the girls who placed above me and below me.
I got that dog in me, yeah. Turn me up. Big energy, got the crowd going.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Wrestle podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Brenton, and today I am joined by special guest, Miss Hali Witt. So, how are you doing today, Hali?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Lovely to have you on today. Why don't you go ahead and tell the listeners just a little bit about yourself?
So I am from Rock Springs and I wrestled for Rock Springs High School for 2 years. I signed to wrestle collegiately and sometimes life just throws a spiral at you. But throughout my wrestling high school, I actually did pretty decent. My first year, I wrestled great at state. I placed sixth, and then I was like, okay, I can do better. And I've wrestled some amazing people, like just that have wrestled longer than me, and it just proven to me that I could do something. So I knew I wanted to do better, especially with it being my senior year. So I placed third, and I had a lot of setbacks actually throughout the whole last year of my senior year in wrestling. And I hurt my knee at Ronthon and I placed second. And that was just like everybody goes through these injuries once in a while during wrestling. Like it's just bound to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have to sit and just watch your teams just wrestle, you're like, okay, I want to go, I want to go. And so I came back, got on the podium, and I was really ecstatic. And moving forward, I was really excited. I wrestled 2 years nationally with Jessica. And my final year before going to wrestle in college, I actually ended up in the emergency room because I ruptured an ovarian cyst. If you know me personally, and you're from Rock Springs, like part of my team, you knew that I was going through some things and I just had a very like messed up stomach. Well, come to find out, with everything on the matter, I got diagnosed with chronic pancreatitis 2 months before I was supposed to move to Kerrville, Texas, to wrestle in Kerrville, Texas. And the doctor just decided it was best for me to set back for the year. And we figured out everything that could go wrong and whatnot. And of course, there's more things that go into it. But yeah, that's basically about me.
Okay, so let's rewind. How did you get involved in wrestling? What made you want to start wrestling?
What made me want to start wrestling is I actually tried it one year because my sister was in it in junior high, and I was like, let's go in deep. I talked to Maggie Smith, and she really pushed me to do it in high school. Like she was always like, we're starting a girls like team, like it's just gonna be us, like come on. And so that's how I started wrestling because of Maggie. And of course, Maggie's family is very supportive. We got the Eddies in there. They're very supportive. Just like a whole like friend idea got me involved in wrestling.
Okay, so you started in high school then, correct?
I wrestled 1 year in junior high, but I say I started in high school. So yes, I started in high school.
Okay. So you did pretty well your last few years in high school. Tell me about the program that you guys had there.
It was a very small program, but we had Coach Maddie Gines on my senior year. Um, the first year we had like just the guys as coach, and it was super nice to get that final girls coach, like just have a girls coach because the girls would just work with the girls, and we had very more one-on-one type work and like without anybody being involved like with everybody else. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, I don't know, a very family oriented thing. Rock Springs is just close and compact.
So those coaches that you had, what are some things that they taught you?
They taught me that I can do anything I put my mind to, that as long as you stay driven, there's nothing that anybody can tell you otherwise. Like as soon as you start to doubt yourself, the doubt starts to set in and you can't do anything more than like what you prove to yourself that you can do. Like Deporto was definitely the most like speech worthy person. He's always in your corner. Like you could always go to him and he'd be like, okay, but look at it this way. Like even in the wrestling room when you would make mistakes, when we were just drilling, he'd watch you and be like, okay, so what was that mistake? Like, um, when you're on bottom, like, what do you tell yourself? Like, what makes you want to get up? And Coach Karajanis would always be like, when you get your hand raised, that's like the final pay. Like, that's your payday. Like, that's what you want. So it was always like, come on, let's go get that payday. And it was always strive to just know how well you want to wrestle and be better than that type thing.
Okay. Love that. How about Maddie? What did Maddie teach you?
Oh, she was amazing. Maddie taught me that you can, like every other coach, you can do anything you put your mind to. She just be true to yourself. Like she was very much of you need to help your body before you can perform well. And she was that person that was always there for you. She made sure that, like a mom, always you had your lunch bag packed. Like she made sure you had everything that you would ever need. You had the time before matches to warm up and just clear your head. She wouldn't, she was very more of like the be surprised who you wrestle than like you try and psych yourself out of it. Like it was just, she just true to yourself, like know what you can do.
I love that she put out there that, be surprised who you wrestle because that happens a lot. People psych themselves out. They're like, wait, hold on, who am I wrestling? It's funny because,
Wrestled them before? Yeah.
yeah, all of the girls that, are on my team know that I'm the, national coach and that I know a lot of the girls of the state. And if I
Yeah.
know them, they're probably pretty good. And so they look at their brackets and they're like, Coach Jess, do you know this girl? And my answer is always like, no, no, I don't know. No, no, don't know. And then they get off the mat. I'm like, actually, she's on my national team. Sorry, guys, but you did good with her. It was like, yeah, you don't want to psych yourself out. You
Yeah.
want to perform to your best abilities, and nobody's unbeatable. So
Yeah.
just go out there and wrestle.
Exactly.
I love that she teaches that. Tell me about your teammates on the team. Was it just Maggie and
So
Sarah?
my first year, it was, ooh, I kind of feel bad for saying this. I only remember Maggie basically from my first year. Um, that might be hurtful, but Maggie was more important my first year. I loved having Maggie around. And my second year, I remember Sarah Eddy, of course, we love her, and Paige Tongate and me. Yeah, and me. Yeah, right? I think. I only remember those two. If there was more, sorry guys. Um, those girls. Sarah's been in wrestling for, do you know how many years? Since she was an
Long
itty bitty
time.
teeny tiny, a long
Yeah.
time. She wrestled with Maggie, and even though like I wrestled with Maggie and Maggie taught me a lot, and having Sarah on the team, she definitely helped a lot. Like she knew more of an aspect sense, like having somebody else as another girl to like help and work with everything. And then Paige was just a beginner. And so it was super fun. Like Sarah and I kind of were like the coaches to Paige, and then Sarah was the coach to me. We just all basically helped each other. It was super fun to have just like a whole three people on the team like do their own little thing. I really loved it. I love Sarah's personality. She doesn't stop. She is whatever she wants, she's gonna go get. And I'm like, you go, girl, you go get it. And I am ecstatic watching all these. I sit here and I watch all these girls that I know wrestle because I know that there's a whole bunch of tournaments going on. They just wrestled at TOC and Sarah did amazing. And so I just love hyping them up still, and it's super fun to see. So I just
Yeah.
love their energy.
Yeah. They have great energy. I love Sarah. Um, so also, have you seen the numbers at Rock Springs this year?
On Rock Springs, I think there's only 12 girls.
Just kind of mind blown that there was that many girls, which it means that, Maggie's camp every summer is
Yes.
doing something.
Maggie's
So
is amazing.
yeah, so I'm excited that the numbers are growing. They're growing in Rock Springs, they're going in Evanston, they're growing in Star Valley, all of those places that are kind of close together that have been a part of Maggie's camp is, these girls are wanting to wrestle and
Showing
they're
things. Yeah,
learning how to do it in the summertime because of Maggie's camp. So I love to see that growth. So that's super exciting.
that is super exciting.
So have you ever been to Maggie's camp before?
I have been to Maggie's camp. I went not last year, but the year before that. So was
Okay.
that her second year? I think that was her second. No. Oh my gosh, I went 2 years. I went to the first time and then the second time, and I didn't go the third time. I was in a doctor's appointment, but
Okay. How was the camp?
I had so much fun. It was the first year I went, it was more of like, okay, I want to wrestle in high school, like type thing, because I was just getting reintroduced to it. And I had so much fun. We played so much games because, again, wrestling isn't just about like the competition, it's what you can do to have fun. Wrestling is a fun sport. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just always, come on, let's just beat each other up. It's you just have to find the joy in it. And Maggie really showed that there's a whole bunch of joy in wrestling. And it was fun. And I remember she taught a whole bunch of mat returns. And she's like, you can mat return anybody, and anybody can mat return you. And she proved that factor. Like the Mortensen twins, they are from Pinedale. They're fun. They went all the years that I went, and I just love them. They're just they don't let anybody tell them that they can't do it. Like they'll go up to the biggest girl and be like, "Oh my gosh, come on." Like, and those are the people that you want to look out for when you're in the sport. Like when you're first starting, look for the people who don't let anybody challenge them. Like the girls that are part of a guys team, like how wrestling like Rock Springs is. Um, those girls are not scared to wrestle the guys. And I would say if you want to talk to somebody who is more like driven, talk to those girls. Like find those girls that aren't scared because they'll show you what real competition is.
I love that. I love that. And for reference, those Mortensen sisters are teeny tiny. And so for them to be able to mat return Maggie is crazy. So I love that they, go after anybody that they can and, have zero fear at all. So there's some scrappers. And I love that wrestling creates that for people. And, you can have that attitude and be amazing at wrestling. So I
Mhm.
love that. So you said that you went to some national tournaments.
Yeah.
What ones did you go to?
I went to the Twin River Duels in Iowa,
Okay,
but
how did you do there?
my first time going, I did good. I actually have the medals over there. I have the bronze um AAU thingy majiggy. What's that called?
So the bronze
All-American.
All-American.
Yep. I have a bronze All-American from my first year, and then my team actually did silver. My team that I wrestled with took silver.
Love that.
And then my second year, it was a shot in the dark type thing. I did great, but life happens.
Yes. So you were able to go on these national trips. You were able to wrestle state. How did your state end up? You took third and sixth, is what you said?
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I feel amazing. In Little Rock Springs, or in Wyoming in general, the way the bracket seedings are work weird because there's so many little things that go into brackets, and when you wrestle like um regionals like indifferently, like the state splits them up and wrestles regionals differently, and then that's how the brackets are seeded for state. So um when you think about like who you win and then like how like the other things work, it's like really difficult to just go into a state tournament and be like, wow, I should be seated differently because how well I did at regionals. But then you have to like tell yourself, well, wait a second, you're gonna wrestle no matter what, so let's just make the best of what we got. Like nobody's unbeatable, like you said. And that's exactly what my coaches said because it was just a whole thing. And with it being the second year, right? It's the second year of now it's third year
Now
of
it's
like
third. Yep. So it was second.
so with it being the second year of like a whole all female tournament or for state, um, it's super still like weird to get all of the things and all that whatever. So I was really, really proud of myself the way I wrestled and got third. And I'm really proud of the girls who placed above me and below me. I wrestled the girls that placed. I wrestled most of the girls that were in my 170 bracket throughout like all the years I was wrestling. Like I've always seen them. And even though they beat me, I knew that they weren't like I knew that we could wrestle and I could beat them. Does that
Hmm.
but I didn't let that stop me. And then it's also really difficult to go into state. I'm going to be honest here. And like, you wrestled all these girls that are in your bracket. Like, you have throughout the whole year. Like, their name. You don't have to ask, though, where are they from? Do you know them? Like, you know them. And you just have to get on that mat, shake their hand, and just see where it takes you. So,
Well, I'm glad you had confidence in yourself to, end up on that podium. Because that is intimidating and it's hard to get to state in Wyoming as a woman because, it's two regions and one division for state. So
yeah.
to be on that podium's pretty impressive and hard to do. So
Yeah,
congratulations on that.
thank you.
How did you feel about the girls being showcased just the same way the boys were?
I think that's amazing. I feel really amazing about it. I think that um it's not just a guy sport anymore. And I think actually this might be biased here, but I think females wrestle harder than guys. Like I have watched so many I watched so many not just in high school. I watch a lot of female wrestlers in college. And they just know what they want and they go and get it. Like, and compared to the males, like females don't stop. Like watched plenty of guys just look and be like, what do I do? Like even beginners, like those beginners, man, you got this. It's just amazing. I've seen a lot of guys quit and I've seen a lot of girls quit, but I've seen more girls, especially at state and before, just beginners just go at it. Like, that is amazing. So I think girls deserve it a lot better, like a
Yeah,
lot more.
I'm glad that the girls are there with the boys and, are being treated the same.
hmm
Um, the little girl in me is so happy to see that.
Yeah, you
Um,
fought a lot hard for it. You
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, it
scrap.
took a while to get where we are, but it's crazy to see and, see all these girls on the mats when it was literally just me out there with a ton of
Yeah,
guys.
Maggie showed me a picture of the first Ron things that she's ever with Brinley and Tila and all of them.
Uh-huh.
Like that's crazy. That's 8 girls from
Yeah.
each team. Like that was insane.
Yeah.
But
No, it's great to see the growth and where we've come.
yes.
So I love it. I love seeing it. Um, so what's the plan moving forward for you? What you got going on in the future?
The plan moving forward is I have thought a lot strong and hard about it, and um, I trust God. Like mine is just trust God. When I called the school to ask about like my scholarship, because I had a full ride, like it was all covered. I asked about my scholarship, and they said that they could hold it with the written letter from my doctor. And I really prayed hard about it. And I didn't want to have, like, yeah, not wrestling in college is a huge setback mentally. Like, I was ready. I was excited. I'm still so excited, but um, the whole like setback, I was like, do I want to have this setback or do I want to have a whole life setback? Like wrestling collegiately is sounds so much fun. Like, but I would only do it for 4 years. Like I knew that that's what I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do it and that I wanted to do it and go to like the nationals and wrestle all of these girls. And through in college and just be part of a really like a female based team because I didn't have that in Rock Springs. Like I just had my male's team. So um I decided to just let that ship sail just for like because you could always go back to it.
Right.
And I started medical assisting school because if I'm gonna be sick, I'm gonna help people else that are sick. And I graduate from medical assisting school May 2nd. and I'll move to, I don't know where I'm gonna move yet, but I'm getting out of Wyoming and seeing what else the world has for me. And from medical assisting school, I'm taking biomedical, um, a bachelor's, because once I get my biomedical credits done, I'm gonna be applied to PA school and become a cardiology physician assistant in surgery.
I love that so much, that you want to, help people and help them in the ways that you needed help, with all of the stuff that's going on with you. So I wish you so much luck with all of that. And, I just can't wait to see where you end up with all of that. So
Thank you.
best of luck.
Thank you.
So is there anybody on here that you would like to give a shout out to or thank?
Um, I would like to thank my all my coaches in high school and Maddie Jones and Sarah's family and Sarah Eddy. Like they don't understand, but they did help. Like even like her mom was there when I was at my lowest with my health issues, and she did a lot for me. And can't forget about my parents. Last of all, my parents were definitely the cherry on top to that, all of that. And yeah, just all of the people in the wrestling family.
It's a big wrestling family.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure they're super thankful to have been a part of your journey and are going to appreciate the shout out. So you have a closing quote for me. Would you like to go ahead and say that, please?
I would. My closeout quote is do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better.
Okay, that's perfect. So all you can do is the best you can in any situation. So, sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days, but either way, you're giving it the best that you can
Yes.
in the moment. So I love that quote. That's a great one.
Thank you.
Well, Hallie, it was a pleasure having you on. I appreciate you sharing your journey and your story and what you're going to do next with us. And I'm always rooting for you and cheering in your corner, okay?
Thank you.
All right, and we will see you guys next time. Have a good day. Bye.
Can't accept the loss, I'm hard-headed. There's a little bit of madness to my method. Many falling off that fine line that I'm treading. I risk anything to be great, and I'm not letting nobody rob me of my victory. Number one, that's what I'm meant to be. When by any means, only thing that makes sense to me, I can make nice or make history.